welcome back everybody to another episode of V-Time, episode 241. We got 2 weeks worth of leaks, a couple of ride lines, a couple of new things, a big beautiful lady, a big giant tree, orgasm, and a lot of other stuff. Before we have anything to talk about at all, Hector, talk about the damn cookies.
I don't know. Did we talk about that? Because the previous one was yeah. I think it's only going to be happening in Japan, which is kind of sad. There's the Vanguard DivineZ protein bars, volume 1, banana flavor, and then chocolate flavor, which apparently also comes with promo cards with the Faded Ones and the Destined One members. I'm just saying, protein bars, like, I would really actually like some, because if you look at the promo cards that they have ones, they're actually not that bad. So I wouldn't mind having those. And then, protein bars. I'm pretty sure you could appreciate the protein bars.
I can. Anyway, with that out of the way now, let's get straight into it.
And like her husband is really on board with this whole proud of her. She got her first milk jug and gives it to the dude. It's like, how's it taste?
I've been thinking about coming back into Vanguard. What do I got to do to get started?
Well, we have some starter decks you could try.
Yeah, but this is a structure deck. This is going to be very strong.
You can also buff them with these.
Yeah, but these are naked. How do I protect these?
You want protection? We got mats and sleeves.
How am I supposed to keep up with all of this?
Got the box for your decks and then your dice for your gameplay.
Yeah, but this is all newer stuff. If I want to play with my old stuff.
Well, glad you say that, because we got some vintage products as well.
This stuff is awesome. Where can I get more of this?
50 cards!
All this and more at 50cards.shop. Use code TDHeroes for a discount.
First and foremost, we're starting us off with the big tree. Griffogila turned good. And of course, the way it starts is instead of being a seed of chaos, Griffo seed, it's basically a seed of blessing, Sephiroth seed, that basically has a very similar design but upgraded to Griffo seed because it starts off with continuous Vanguard. This unit gets grade +1 and power 2k for each different blessing card in your soul and drop in total that was in the ride deck, and it's also active during your opponent's turn too. And then auto Vanguard at the beginning of your main phase, choose up to one blessing card from your ride deck and put it into soul. Perform one of the following according to your Vanguard's grade. If your Vanguard is grade 1 after doing this, choose up to one energy generator from your ride deck and put it into the crest zone. If you do and you win second, energy charge 3. And then if you are grade 3, search your deck or hand for up to one Dragon Tree of Advent Sephiroth right at a stand. And if you search the deck, shuffle deck. If you rode, choose one of your rear guards without any Dragon Tree markers and put a Dragon Tree marker on it. So,
It's a
lot of quality of life changes with some downsides. I mean, the only downside really is just the fact that you make one Dragon Tree instead of 2, but it's not important anymore.
Well, it is a little bit important because they did mention that the ride deck has now been changed with Sephiroth seed. That you can no longer have a trigger. That it's just the whatchamacallit, the blessing.
It is Sephiroth seed and the blessing, no longer the over trigger in the ride deck. For very obvious reasons that we'll get to, but we did get 3 new blessing cards. They really aren't new.
No, not really. They look nice. That's about it.
Yeah. They basically do the exact same thing as the Calamity cards. It's the exact same effect. You can still play them if you run them in the deck for a counterblast to search another blessing card and add a hand and shuffle the deck, and that's it. If there ever comes a day where that effect actually gets used, I will kiss the ground and pray to our god, Sephiroth or Griffogila or whatever, but I do not foresee a day where anybody would run this in a legit, actual competitive deck and actually use the order ability.
I'm about to say, like, somebody was gonna run it for the memes.
The memes, sure. I can see the memes. Legit competitive. There's a reason you do this to make the deck the best it can be. Reason. I don't see.
No way. Yeah, I mean.
All right, Hector. Take us to the big tree.
All right, the big tree. It is Dragon Tree of Advent, Sephiroth. So it is still a grade 10 with 13k power. So pretty much normal like the other one. Skill, continuous Vanguard / deck. This card is also regarded as Griffogilla. And if it is in the Vanguard, you can only write cards with Sephiroth in their card names. So just to put a little pin on that, it stops what everybody was hoping for as a tech of the grade 11.
Yeah, no Vertex for you.
Yeah, no Vertex. That's the one. No Vortex for you. No trying to do turn 4 OT. Moving on for that part. Act Vanguard once per turn. Energy Blast 3. Choose one of your rear guards. Put a Dragon Tree marker. Look at top 5 cards of the deck. Choose up to 1 unit card on the call to rear guard and shuffle the deck. And then other act ability. Once per turn, bind a card with Dragon Tree in its card name or a Mask of Hydrogum from hand or drop for each rear guard with your Dragon Tree markers. Energy charge 1. This unit gets 5k until the end of turn. If there are 5 or more rear guards with Dragon Tree marker, this unit gets +1 drive until the end of turn. Pretty simple, straightforward.
No. This... Okay, as a Dragon Tree enthusiast and someone who's been trying to make Vertex actually work, and you as someone who has been on the receiving end of Vertex recently, this as Solaron.
Oh, recently I was. It's been a while.
That's technically still recently, but yes. This, in my honest opinion, for Dragon Tree, is 2 steps back.
If you're looking at it as like a continuation version of Dragon Tree, yes. If you're looking at it as a different, completely new thing, it's fun, it's simple, it's interesting. I get what you're saying, like going 2 steps back, you know?
Let's be honest here. It actually does nothing, and it doesn't solve some of the problems that each nation had. If anything, it forces you to run more of the Dragon Tree wretches, because now that you only make 1 Dragon Tree marker on the grade 10 ride, now you need to find a way to do 4. Yes, you still have the Blitz order, but even in Vertex, seeing the Blitz order is the problem.
I do see that.
And the only thing you're getting next to the +1 drive is making this thing bigger. Now it's a cost to make it bigger. Before, it gained 5k power on attack just because it existed and had Dragon Tree markers on the rear guard. And then the original gained a crit if you had 3. So it was always a 28k triple double critical minimum if you had 3 markers. And then became bigger. And then Vertex was also like, I'm just going to gain 10k in a critical because I can. It was an 18k base and all that. This one, if you even want to gain power, you have to you have to bind a Mask of Hydra on Dragon Tree. And it only gains 5k, it doesn't even gain a crit anymore. Triple drive, but you're really just, if you're binding from hand, you're plussing that card back, so you have to bind from drop for plussing. It's like, from a Dragon Tree's perspective, this is really 2 steps back. The only biggest upgrade this deck might have gotten is the fact that you do not have to wait 3 turns to do anything. Now your Vanguard's grade 1. Now your Vanguard's grade 2. You can play early game grade 1s. You can play early game grade 2s. You actually have an early game. So that's the only benefit I can see. But outside of that, it's like, hope you draw that Blitz order. That's all I'm going to say. Hope you draw that Blitz order.
I do see what you mean by that. It is kind of 2 steps back when you put it like that. But I think it is because it's a whole new thing now. It's a whole new turning a new leaf, new chapter. It's okay. Yeah,
I will retract a little bit. It does make a Dragon Tree for F3 energy, so at least you're making 2 markers on turn 3. But that still means you need minimum 2 CB if you want to make one energy blast. CB1, make one. If you want to have triple drive on turn 3, you need 3 CB. Otherwise, on turn 4, you can get there with 2 CB. So it's not as bad as I initially thought. And the whole top 5 is also actually really cool. It helps your deck find pieces. Most of the Dragon Tree Wretches don't care where they were placed from. They still do their things. It's just that you still need to run the Dragon Tree Wretches. One searches the mask that searches more Dragon Trees. So that doesn't really help. One makes markers, and then depending on the nation you do, does something. So you need to build around it. And then the other one is cool to find more mask and to bind itself and to find another grade 10. So you basically have Persona Ride. But you basically traded a 6 energy ability to get a Persona Ride into hand and nothing on board. It's like this.
See, I'm not a Dragon Tree enthusiast, so it doesn't really, hurt us deeply, but yeah.
I need to edit the video where we use this because I wasn't part of it nor did I see it. Maybe my opinion will change once I see it. But on paper, I'm like, man. Because here's another thing, and I'm going to stop the rant after this. That's it. Griffo Seed, the Blessings. Or sorry, Sephiro Seed and the Blessings. And Sephiro Gila. That's it. There's no other support that says Dragon Chi in the whole set. That's it. We'll go over here, Baslagar and Viceroga and whatever other new ride line we got. The new Lock Chick. It's like 8 to 9 new fucking cards. Sephiro Gila. Technically 5. Technically 5.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe we'll see more support later down the road for it.
Right. I've done my rant. I'm done my rant. I'm going to let you read the next card because we're not going to jump straight to the next high rarities. I want us to stop at this grade 2 common Brent Gates set order.
What he is referring to is the grade 2 set order Annihilation Strategy Mass Funeral. So, the skill is auto right here. When this card is put into your soul from your order zone, you get one of the following until the end of turn. The first one, at the end of the battle your Vanguard attacked, if it is the first battle of the turn and that attack did not hit, search your deck for up to... That's actually very important. Actually, we have to look back because it's only the first battle.
Yeah, I always attack with Vanguard first.
Okay, cool. Anyway, first battle, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 or greater card with Vanguard in its card name. Reveal it and put it in your hand and shuffle your deck. The other skill you can get is when your Vanguard would be rode upon, the riding unit is placed, getting all the trigger effects and all the abilities gained from the strategy orders your Vanguard got this turn.
This is a fucking common.
It is a common, if you haven't already noticed, for Vanguard. Is this literally the only card that got a support for this in this entire set?
In the entire set, Vanguard only got 1 common worth of support. And it's probably almost triple rare worth ability.
It really is. It's such a nice quality of life. It's just sad to see that it came out a little too late.
This honestly should have come out the same time as Richter.
Yes. If it would have came out at the time of the Richter, we would have seen a lot more Vanguard around that time.
Like, it fixes finding Persona Rides or Richters for later turns if you went first or even went second. Because it forces your opponent to go, okay, if you don't let this attack hit, I'm going to find my Persona Ride or my Richter. One of the pieces I'm probably missing. Which means next turn for you is going to suck. Or... like this. Exactly. Or if you let me hit, I'm not going to be able to find my piece. Oh, but I'm going to counterblast 1, ditch 1, and restand. And, multi-attacking Vanguard. Enough said.
Enough said. Like, this is still one of the best ones. Like, that was one of the things that was always kind of in the back of your mind. Do I have the Persona ride for next turn? Do I have it? And guess what? You're getting it guaranteed one way or another.
You're either putting pressure or you're guaranteeing yourself a Persona ride. So your opponent's put in a pickle.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I love the second ability even more. It only really works with the grade 3 strategy. Because the grade 1 strategy is a 5k to Vanguard and retire. And the grade 2 strategy gives the turn the ability not to be played Blitz orders and 10k to Vanguard. Neither of which can transfer. So power does not transfer. That's a very clear distinction. If the Vanguard would gain power from a strategy, that power would not transfer. The only thing that would transfer is trigger abilities, therefore trigger power and trigger effects like crits, and strategy abilities, which in this case is only the grade 3 strategy that gives the red text ability of when the Vanguard attacks, 5k to the front row.
Mm-hmm.
So can't this is really broken. Just... Do what now?
I was like, they can't make it a little too broken.
I mean, yeah, it's only a common. But still, think, Hector. Attack with Richter after Persona, right? Giant numbers, 5k to the front. You rip a crit trigger. That thing restands with a crit. And then when you go back to OG Vanguard, it keeps the crit.
Yeah, that it keeps the crit. It keeps the power. It keeps everything. That would have been, but still, the crit is nice.
Mind you, it does work with Overtrigger. And mind you, I never got a chance to do this. Yes, we recorded already. I never got a chance to do this. But technically, because both of the abilities from the new order are given to the player, not the Vanguard, if you put this strategy in with OG Vanguard and choose the second one, and then put the same strategy into Soul with the Richter, you hit a crit, give 10k in crit to Vanguard. When you go to OG Vanguard, it will gain 20k and 2 more crit. Because each ability will give it the trigger abilities. Because it says when your Vanguard would road, the riding unit is placed getting all the trigger effects and abilities gained from the strategy order your turn discern. So that happens twice. So in technicality, if you did the grade 3, I know it doesn't work because you don't have the grade 3 because you use 2. It only works with triggers.
Yeah.
You just basically double the triggers.
Double triggers. Make sure you have it. Still, it's a fucking common.
It's a fucking common. Poor Vanguard.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. We got another ride line to cover, and this time it's the beautiful lady Basagara herself coming in with a whole new ride line, a whole new sword and shield, some new support cards, basically the whole shebang, and holy shit, the improvement of quality of life. So we're going to start us off with the ride line, Seal Blaze Dragon, Arhinsa Sphere. Nothing too special about it, it's your ride line. But where the grade 1 starts is where stuff starts to get interesting, because it's basically been an upgraded version of the old one with Seal Blaze Dragon Namor Kar Anui. Auto, when this unit is placed by riding from the grade 0, Soul Blast 1 and reveal a Seal Blaze of Aberration Basagara Aksaya from your ride deck and perform one of the following. Shuffle the deck afterwards. If you went second, perform all of the following instead of one. So you either and search your deck for up to one Seal Blaze Sword Yava from your deck, reveal it and put it into your hand, or search your deck for up to one Seal Blaze Shield Bodhanata from your deck, reveal it, put it in your hand. So basically, you either search for a sword or shield, or both if you win second. And then continues to regret if your Vanguard is armed with 2 or more cards. This unit gets 2k, also to activate their opponent's turn, making a 10k booster on top of that. Holy shit, that's a quality of life change.
That is nice. Nice.
So, Hector, what do the new sword and shield do?
Alright, so the new shield is Seal Blaze Shield Bohanath. That's what I'm calling it. Left deity arms. Obviously attaches to left deity arms. Seal blaze of rotation above side of the goes after the whole thing. Can it only stick to the new one?
It can only stick to the new one. It cannot get armed to the old one. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a little tidbit right there. But the ability of that one is when this card is armed, you draw a card right off the bat. Right there is really nice. And then the other ability is once per turn, when the unit armed with this card is attacked, the armed unit gets plus 10k until the end of battle, and then costs Soul Blast 1 and it gets 20k instead of 10k. That's really nice.
So if you have an abundance of soul and you need a guard on attack for a 20k, you can do that instead of 10k. So it became a bigger tank shield.
A big game with tank shield draw. Like, this is such a fucking quality of life.
Still a CB to play it. Man, when I read this in the Discord the first time, I was like, wait, you don't have to pay a cost? This is fucking busted.
Yeah, so that's a little tidbit. It's also in the sword, it also has the same thing, which is Sealed Blaze Sword Diaba. It's a right arms that you can only play with the new ones. Play this. Oh, that actually says play with the cost CB1. When this card is armed, choose one of your vanguards and it gets continuous vanguard. All of your front row units get 5k until the end of turn. Right off the gate, just mini persona ride. And then auto, when the unit armed with this card attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, you may have the unit on this card get +1 drive until the end of that battle. If you did, at the end of the battle, put this card into your drop zone.
So overall, it turned from I believe the original sword was a Soul Blast cost to equip. So now it just turned into a Counterblast cost. So now they're both Counterblast. But it did change from a 10k only to Vanguard to 5k to front row, which is technically 5k bigger overall. And instead of dealing a damage and costing a CB to deal damage, or technically 2 CB if I remember correctly, it's now a triple drive right away. So overall, this is the better sword.
Not right away. As long as you go second, yeah. You go first, yeah, you can't do it.
I mean, it's still a mini persona ride to the front row going second.
The mini persona ride still. Yeah, the mini persona ride's still really nice.
I still love the shield because now it draws a card back. Holy shit, that's big. And we're going to get to why this is actually a big deal. First, we're going to have to cover the grade 2 before we cover the Basagara. We got Sealed Blaze Dragon, Halibadra Balat. It's auto when this unit is rode upon by the new Basagara. Counterblast 1. Search your deck for up to 2 arms cards with different card names from each other. Discard them and shuffle your deck. After that, choose up to 1 arm card from your drop and arm it to your Vanguard. And then auto rearguard when this unit attacks. If your Vanguard is armed, this unit gets 5 can damage, bam, making it 15k attack. Let's ignore the whole rearguard effect. You're telling me that for the same cost to arm both of the arms cards we just talked about, this one just arms it right away and deck fins 2 cards.
That's really good.
More likely, you're discarding sword and shield from your hand, or at least one of them. We'll get to maybe both for ride line purposes.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you're deck finning your deck with the other ones because we'll get to that as well. You can run the old arms. You don't have to be just restricted to these new arms. And then you can arm anything you want. Sword for 5k, Counterblast 1, shield equipped for draw card, yada yada yada. So this just becomes much more quality of life right away. And you know what's the funniest part, Hector?
What is that?
When you hit your grade 3, and if you use the ride line ability, technically you can be double armed and not even have to play an order a turn.
Yeah.
Because we have Sealed Blaze of Aberration Basagara Axaya. She starts off with Continuous Vanguard. This unit is also regarded as Sealed Blaze Maiden Basagara, which means all the old arms work with this one. The new arms do not work with the old one, so it's just a one-way street. But it does make sure that all the old support cards just work. By the way, it has 4 abilities. So, second one, Act Vanguard. Once per turn, put a card from your hand into your soul. Choose an arm card from your drop and arm it to this unit. Just bypass the CB cards, just do the thing.
Yeah,
one card
like-
into soul, shield, no CB needed, draw a card, thank you.
That's so good. All you
And
need
then-
is one CB to get everything that you need.
Pretty much. And that's the second ability. We still have 2 more. Third ability, act Vanguard once per turn. If this unit is armed with 2 or more cards, which let's be honest is not going to be hard. Soul Blast 2, retire all of your opponent's front row rear guards, and this unit gets critical +1 until the end of turn. This is the same effect, but it got added an extra line of text that says, if you did not retire any units, draw. What
So
the
all-
actual fuck?
All the decks that basically say, hey, I'm going to get rid of my front row rear guards, looking at Vargas specifically. Hi. I'm just going to draw more.
Soul Blast, crit, draw. Thank you. And then last but not least, which I don't know why it needs more, Auto Vanguard once per turn. When this unit is armed, energy charge 1 out of all of the things. Choose a grade 1 or less card from your drop, call it to rear guard. And here's a kicker. If you chose a card with Veilord in its card name, you may overdress it on a trick moon on your rear guard instead of calling it.
They
It's
really
like,
did-
what the fuck?
They really did give Bob Cigar everything, but to be fair, she needed it. She
So-
absolutely needed it.
Yeah, she really did. She fell off the map. She really needed this upgrade. I will say, I'm gonna quickly go through all the abilities and give my thoughts, and then you can talk about it. Having the Bob Cigar name had to be obvious, so you can use the old supports, you can use the old arms. Was an obvious ability. Arming by minusing 1 in hand, fucking busted. Because if you just take sword and shield and not think of any other order, shield's constantly going to stay there. You're constantly going to get rid of sword because you're going to be triple driving. And then it's like, okay, yeah, -1, rearm. I'm back to normal. No CB needed.
No CB needed, so like Trick Moon's just kind of like there. Like if you do happen to have the one Trick Moon early game, that one CB that you paid to search the 2 out of your deck, guess what? It's right there. It just goes back.
And then Soul Blast 2, retire front row crit. It's the same ability, but now if you don't have a front row retire, you just draw a card. It's just quality of life. And then the last one is like armed, energy charge, call a card like always, but now you can choose a Veiler and just overdress it right away. Which is a double-edged sword in my opinion, because while it's cool not to have Veiler in hand so you can use it to guard, discard it, equip it, constantly have your Veilers even if they get retired, you're now basically forced to have Trick Moons on the board to do this, which means you're not using Bossagard's effect to call Trick Moons, which means you're kind of killing your countercharge engine if you decide to call Veilord and overdress it over Trick Moon.
Technically, yeah. But if you're going up against decks that don't retire, you do it once. You know, you're just kind of.
And then for the
There.
rest of that game, you're just Veilord. Any other thoughts on this card?
It needed it. Absolutely, it needed. Like this is. This is pretty much everything Connor had been hoping for.
See, it didn't just need this. One of the biggest flaws about the deck is the fact that it was a 3-attack deck that got giant numbers for no fucking reason. But it was only a 3-attack deck. Hector, talk about the 2 support cards that we got.
The first one, to get it out of the way, Dragon Princess of Elliot Flames Farron. Auto, it's a grade 1. It is auto. When this card is put into the soul by your card's ability in your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard bust or Bard in its card name, choose one of your units and it gets powers plus 5k. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted auto rear guard. If your Vanguard's open with 2 cards, 2 or more cards for some weird reason, cost EB2 and return this unit to your hand. Notice the first skill just says Bob Sagara, so you can use the old Bob Sagara if you wanted to.
Yep.
But basically, EB2, it reminds me of the Mortalion cat. EB2, return it back to hand. So
It really does.
mhm.
But
But the
the
real
only down... Hold up. Before you continue, the only downside about this card I see is the fact that in all honesty, your best board is going to constantly be keeping Veilords or Trick Moves in the back. So I'm never going to see. I don't see this getting played and being put in the back.
Yeah. Like if you don't have a full back row full of Veilords or Trick Moons, yeah, I can see that. The main card, the piece that everybody absolutely needed, is Seal Blaze Dragon. Igmash. I don't know how to do that. It's a grade 2 auto. When this unit is placed on rearguard from your hand, if you have a Vanguard with Seal Blaze in its card name, cost EB3, discard an arm from your hand, draw 2 cards. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets 5k into the end turn. Extra 5k. Oh wow, doesn't really matter. Sometimes yes, but doesn't really matter. The other ability, auto rearguard once per turn. At the end of the battle that your Vanguard with Bofsakar in its card name attacked, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, cost CB1 and stand this unit. They finally got their multi-attacker. Your 4th and 5th attacks are here.
And it technically works with the OG Bob as well.
Yes, it does.
This is going to get dangerous fast, isn't it?
Turn 4, they are going to be hitting you hard.
Turn 4?
It's a grade 3 or greater. So if your opponent is a grade 2, you can't restand.
Okay, cool. Going second.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Dude, I'm legitimately scared because you can basically play a Bob deck that just goes balls to the walls. Throw 2 of these down. Imagine a whole back row of Veilords, and you have 2 CB open ready to go. Which means you're the first, like, let's say this is not a Persona right turn, right? And you have the new sword and shield equipped. So this thing's gaining 5k because more than likely you use the first ability, because why the fuck you wouldn't? So it's a 15, and then from the sword it's a 20. Veilord's an 8k booster makes it 28, and then it gives Veilord gives 10k to the front row, which means it's 38. So the first attack's 38, which means the second attack on the other side with another Veilord is going to be 48, which means the Vanguard's going to swing with 18, 28, 38, 48, 56, triple drive, double critical, and then CB2 restand, no triggers hit. Your last 2 attacks are both going to have plus 30 on them, which means they're going to be 50s on their own. 50s on their own. That's 3 Veilords, mind you. That's Magical Christmas Land.
Yeah,
but last time I remember us recording Boss Sagara, I saw Ilon was complaining a lot how Alex kept making 3 Veilords in the back consistently without a problem.
And that was back then.
That was back then. That was before. That was when you had to play armed cards. That's when you had to actually play armed cards.
And now you don't.
Now you fucking don't. Oh god.
This Bob Sagara is getting her time to shine.
I need to edit that video. I think that is going to be the next video I edit after V time. I need to see what the fuck happened.
Like, I'm honestly kind of tempted to build this.
Well, do it on your own time. We got more shit to cover. We got another ride line to cover. And this should be the last ride line for event 7. And it's the new lyrical ride line. So, oh boy.
Oh yeah, this is
things got out of hand really fucking fast. Hector, start us off with the starter and the grade 1. Actually, no. Wait, no. Yes, starter and the grade 1.
All right. So the starter is Head Up October Prouda. It's normal lyrical starter. If you want second, draw a card. Yeah, it is what it is. The grade 1 is Dynamic Exciter Asteria. Auto, when this unit is placed by running the grade 0, the starter, cost, reveal a grade 3 card with Asteria in its card name from the ride deck. Search your deck for up to 1 sound system card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck.
Spoiler alert, sound systems are set orders. In the grade 2 ride line, Witching Vibrato Leaf Fell It has the same exact ability of when this unit is placed by riding from the grade 1, reveal a grade 3 card called Artisaria in its card name from your deck. Search for a sound system, reveal it in your hand, and shuffle the deck. So it's all the same. It's searching the set orders. It's basically Braincade. Braincade looking unit will have a Braincade effect. Makes sense. So Hector, what's one of the sound systems that we got?
I just noticed it's pretty much like Stoicheia Argo Sirens.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. One of them is called Shout in Shadow. Continuous. It is a grade 3, mind you. Continuous. This card cannot be played and it cannot be put in your order zone other than by the ability of a unit with Artisan in its card name. And then other auto, when this card is put in your order zone, draw a card and call up to 1 Shadow Army token. That so right lyrical. That right there for lyrical has shut down a lot of things for people because they can only play once per turn, and spoiler, it can only be played by the Vanguard.
Yep, because there is a lot of lyrical cards that let you play multiple orders in a turn. There's the generic find the order, put in, drop player from drop cards that we got. So there's a lot of actual good lyrical support cards to help you play orders. Then the continuous ability that both of these set orders do share of you can't play them, you can only put them with the ability of Vanguard. Basically means this is a combination of aggro sirens in the sense of finding them, Braincade finding the set orders, but very reminiscent of Undercover because you're going to be discarding these orders for ride line and then playing them from drop, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Because we got Polyphonic Overdrive Artisaria. She's got 3 abilities that go continuous Vanguard during your turn. If your order zone has 2 or more sound systems, this unit gets critical +1, which means by turn 4 and onward, she will be double critical. Act Vanguard once per turn. Energy Blast 2. Choose a sound system card from your hand or drop and put it into your order zone. If you put a card from hand, draw a card. And then last but not least, Auto Vanguard once per turn. When this unit attacks, Counter Blast 1 and call up to 1 Shadow Army token to rearguard for each sound system in your order zone. And all of your front row units get power 5 until the end of turn for every 2 sound systems in your order zone. Welcome, Lyrical Orphist.
Lyrical Orphist is the best way. This is a descendant of we'll get to that here in a second because the next card is what really has got everybody up in arms.
The episode spoiled. Excuse me. The episode spoiled people. Twitter blew up about it until we got the cards. We didn't exactly know how it happened, but something came back.
I am one of the biggest haters of this mechanic, but even I can see that it's not that bad.
And I'm one of the biggest lovers.
Would you like to go ahead?
No, you do it. I did the Vanguard, you can do this one.
So that is a grade 3 set order. Name is Megaromania. Has the same reverse effect as the other one. This card cannot be played. It cannot be put except by the ability of the Vanguard. And then auto, when this card is put into your order zone, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and lock it.
Lock. Yay!
Lock is back.
But
the moment
Lock
this
has hold up. Lock has been back because of Messiah Stride deck set. However, because of Messiah Stride deck set, when the turn ended, the lock cards would unlock and get bound. So I missed that. Not this time.
Not this time. So lock is officially back. However, it is very, and I am using that, very extensively, very tame compared to it, because if anybody is keeping up with the Vanguardians, on like a Facebook post, everybody is just making a whole bunch of things. Here's the thing though, I keep seeing people talk about, it's like, people are saying we need a reboot. I have not seen anybody actually say we need a reboot. No. I think they're just rage baiting at this point.
Exactly. But Lock brings back emotions into people that are very unnecessary. Because we're honestly, lock came back probably at the best time and in the best way. When we're talking about proper lock, not Messiah lock.
Because because as I was putting it, I'm the biggest hater because back then, Aquaforce, you lock one of my rear guards, that's it. Like, I'm stuck. I couldn't get to the 4th attack unless I had something else. Like, and then you get to the other point where Chaos Breaker, Omega lock them. And then it was taking cards out of my hand. It was taking cards from my deck. Even if I played nothing on the field. Oh, take the top card deck, lock it. Do it again, lock it. Choose a card from your hand, lock it. Literally was stopping you. This, on the other hand, only chooses the field.
And you can only do it once a turn at this current moment. Because the only way to play these orders is with the Vanguard ability, and the Vanguard ability is a once per turn ability. And you only have 4 of these set orders in a deck at max. So you're looking at 1 card locked for 4 turns max. There are some lyrical cards that can grab the set order from the order zone, put it back into your hand. So technically you can do more. But the main point is that you can only lock 1 rear guard only once a turn, as long as you keep seeing this order in your drop or in your hand.
Like I said, it's relatively tame compared to what everybody is making it out to be.
And on top of that, like I said, I think it came out at the best time, because at this current moment, there are decks that keep their rear guards, and there are only 3 attack or 4 attack decks, and this would suck. But there's also decks out there that play in a way where they just lose all their rear guards in the front row. You're not going to have to worry about locking anything in the front row. You're not going to have to worry about losing your attacks. Maybe something in the back row if they existed. Mm-hmm. But you should be. There's a lot of decks and a lot of play styles to just, okay, you do not affect me lock, so you're going to just be making Shadow Army tokens and drawing. Like, Varg is the best example. I'm going to do my thing and blow up my front row. You get nothing.
And back row too.
Pretty much.
But
and
like,
Razel
I think
has
ways. Yeah, Razel does have ways with Nibiru's, Cadwellas, or other things that you can play to avoid it. Even if you do leave 1 rear guard locked, then it is what it is. You still have multi-attacks. Levy Dress, it can attack from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Shoujo Doji stuff goes away. Harry stuff goes away. Night Rose stuff goes away. I think really people were like getting a little too into things because it went up against Empoleon, which is not a weak deck by any means, but it is a strict 3 attack deck, turning it into
with only 1
attack.
rear guard that really gets rid of itself.
Yeah, so it turned it into a strict 2 attack deck. I mean, hell, even like we were just talking about Bob Sagara is, if they lock 1 rear guard, you still have another one.
Yeah. And now you have a multi-attacker that you go, okay, I know how to attack 3 times with Bob Sagara. This is nothing new.
Exactly. Overlord doesn't care about it.
No,
Vanguard doesn't care about it.
I do look forward to the day because I want to see what's gonna happen when I play my Messiah against this deck. It's like, please lock it. Oh God, please lock it.
Messiah's gonna have a field day with that one.
Anyway, that's not all I got. It also got 4 cards of support. Oh, fuck me, I guess. So we're gonna start off with a very generic, real quick one. Spesado Step Leon. It's your normal thing we've been seeing for all these main boss unit decks. Continuous Rigor Guardian Circle Viewers or has a sound system. These gain power 5k, shield 5k, activate reports, so 13k attacker, 10k shield. Nothing special there. It's when we get to the other cards where things start getting interesting.
The first one is the grade 3 Sing in the Sky. Rachria. This chick has some weird, weird friends with weird names. But it's a grade 3 auto rigor. When this unit attacks, this unit gets 5k to the battle for each cell system in your order zone. So the more you put it, the more it scales up. And then auto rigor, when this unit is returned to your hand from the rear guard during your turn or retired from rear guard during your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Artisan in its card name, cost Soul Best 1, choose one of your units and it gets 5k at the end of turn.
Fucking power stick.
Yeah, I mean, the later it goes on, this thing is just going to get more and more power for every single sound system.
the Vanguard gets 5k for every 2. So the second you have 2, she's already a 28k body just because she exists. So overall, not a bad beat stick. But then it is a cost for a Soul Blast, and a lot of people already have figured out that you want to bounce or retire your stuff because you're going to be making Shadow Armor tokens for the multi-attack. So of course, Yuika is very popular and will be used, but that's a lot of soul. But hey, they fixed this with Trailing Notes Reverbera. Her first ability is continuous rearguard during your turn. If your order zone has a sound system, this unit gets power 5k, making 13k attacker or booster, which honestly is really good. However, you still want to boost with it because it says auto rearguard at the end of the battle that this unit boosted. If your order zone has a sound system, put this unit into your soul, choose one of your rear guards, and return it to hand. It does not have to be in the same column.
I mean, that thing just fixes every problem you just mentioned.
I know, right? Isn't it great? And then on top of that, that's just the double rare. We still have the triple rare support card.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a triple rare. Yeah.
Yeah, the grade 2 is a triple rare.
Yeah. The triple rare is Devilish Flanger Lufer. It's grade 2. When this unit is placed on rearguard or Guardian Circle, I did not know that part. If your order zone has a sound system, this unit gets 5k power and 5k shield. So 15k attacker, 10k shield. Jesus, this thing gets a lot of shield. Just realized that.
It needs it.
Not fair. And then auto, when this unit is returned to hand from your rearguard during your turn or retired from rearguard during your turn, if you have a grade 3 go to Vanguard as Christian card name, CB1 and draw 1.
You need some plussing somewhere, because
yeah,
you need some plussing somewhere.
The Vanguard is the only other thing that CB something, didn't it? Yeah.
Vanguard is CB1 to multi-attack with Shadow Armor tokens for every sound system. So on turn 1, on turn 3, you're only calling 1 Shadow Armor token. On turn 4, 2, turn 5, 3, turn 6, 4, yada yada yada. But that's your only CB, is basically to multi-attack. So this is the only other CB that the support card got, which is just to draw a card. So overall, in the whole game, depending on how the game goes, I can only see using 2 of this effect to draw 2 cards. Because let's be honest here, if you are on your second Persona ride with this deck and you have either not died or not killed them, you're doing, something's been going wrong. Because you have 5 CB throughout the whole game, 3 of it can be used for the Vanguard ability, 2 of it can be saved for this. If you heal, you just use more of one of them, yada yada yada. So until Lyrical gets a really good countercharger that can be put in here, you're not going to be drawing that many cards off of this ability, but it is nice to just have.
No. Let's say, like, they don't have a generic countercharger.
They technically do. The only problem is the generic countercharger has to see an order get played that turn, not put into the order zone, played, and it needs to get boosted. Which in this deck, even though it does revolve around set orders, an order never gets played unless you put an order engine into the deck.
Which at that point is just conflicting.
Exactly. And then technically there's another generic countercharger, but it's an 8k body and it needs to hit the Vanguard to countercharge. So yeah, no good counterchargers.
No.
Brent Gate deck without the Boba main.
Hey, now you know how it feels to be a cater. You know, we're asking for a generic countercharger for how long?
I know, right? Anyway, last thing I want to mention about this deck is the fact that they also got, because Shadow Army tokens in the past were only Brent Gate, now Shadow Army tokens are nationless and they look like butterflies, which honestly is really fucking cool.
It's kind of a little scary considering these butterflies are coming at you. Because when you look at it, still. Yeah, 50k body still, but it's like, when you think about it, sometimes butterflies don't look that scary. But if you ever seen like horror movies where insects are coming at you and you know they will tear your flesh, yeah, run, that's where you start. Exactly, and it's a whole multitude of them.
Anywho, we actually have a couple more cards to cover because now that set 7 is concluded, we're getting some promos and stuff. And I was not expecting this. And I don't know how to feel about it because on paper it reads weird, but maybe in practice it's good. Because we got a new promo boss unit for Dark States, which makes this Dark States technically third promo boss unit, if you count Favernil. And then we got the Bastion version in Dark States.
Yeah, but Bath something.
And now a third promo boss unit in the form of Seeker of Knowledge, Celsera. She was announced when Overdress got announced. Like, this is the lore set lore. Like, it's been a hot minute since we were supposed to get her. Anywho,
But
abilities, 2 of them only, and very weird ones. Act ability once per turn. Vanguard, cost, put a card from your hand into your soul. Choose a normal order from your drop and put it into your soul. So basically soul charge 2. Choose up to 1 card from your soul, call it to rearguard, -1 soul for one on board. Choose up to 1 normal order from your soul, and it gets continuous. This card can be played from your soul, and when it would be put into drop after play, bind it instead until the end of turn. So basically, I'm going to read the second ability and get to this, but Act Vanguard once per turn, counter +1, and this unit gets all of the following based on the total number of different card names among normal orders in your soul and bind zone. If you have 3 or more different card names, auto Vanguard once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. Stay in this unit gets drive -2 until the end of turn. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets drive +1 until the end of turn, basically making it into an overlord. And then 5 or more different card names is continuous Vanguard. All of your units get 5. All of your units get 5k.
get 5k.
Which means a full board is basically a Persona ride.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, what?
I actually seem to enjoy this card. I don't know why.
I don't understand. If I had a nickel for every time Dark States got a Highlander deck, I'd have 2 nickels, which is not a lot. But it's strange that it happened in Dark States twice.
It is. But honestly, I kind of feel like I might want to build it.
So it basically turns whatever you put into soul from hand and order from drop into soul into the thing you basically call to board, and an order you can play from soul, so you don't have to actually play an order for hand. So it's basically a 2-for-1, which is honestly not bad. It's a restanding Vanguard, and if your Void's a grade 3, it's basically 3 drive checks for base no cost other than Counterblast. So it's not discarding, you're not minusing, you basically are triple driving and plussing. And it's Celeron.
That's the best part.
Tell me a better way to describe it other than it's Celeron.
Yeah, this is what Celeron wished it could be. But what's even better is the support card that it comes with. This is a grade 2.
Go for it.
Which is Adventure Scholar Arius. It's a grade 2. When this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have a grade 3 or Vanguard with Celsera, look at the top 7 of your cards in your deck, choose up to 1 order from among them, normal order, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. If you reveal, choose a card from your hand and either put it into your soul or discard it. So automatically look at something, put it in the soul immediately.
Yep.
And then the other skill, when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard Celeron's card name attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater and your unit has not stand by a card's ability this turn, cost EB3 and stand this unit. If you stand, choose one of your Vanguards in that unit, and this unit both get 5k in the turn.
Power!
This is a 5 attack right off the bat.
So power and 5 attacks.
Like I said, it makes me kind of want to build a little bit.
So the only drawback of this deck is the fact that you're playing Highlander orders, normal orders at that. And then you can basically only use those orders once, and that's it. You can kind of use multiples. Like if you already hit the 5 condition, you can kind of use an order you've already used. You're still at 5 different. But then you're clogging your deck. So then the question is, what orders do you play? And I've pulled up deck log in front of me, and I'm looking through them. Huh?
I was like, that's exactly what I was doing too.
And I'm starting to look through all the normal orders we have. The first one that currently pops up in English, because I haven't looked at set 6 and set 7, so if there's any in set 6 and set 7, I apologize for not covering those. But for right now, set 5 down in English. First order that pops up is the Sword of Bane, which is a Leo order, which you cannot play, because you do not have a Leo Vanguard. So that one is a bust. Then you have a new order that came out in set 4. Let's play this with Energy Blast 3. Choose 2 cards from your drop, put them into Soul. If your Soul has 10 or more cards, choose one of your Vanguards against 10k power. If you can make a really good Soul engine in this, you can technically make the Vanguard 10k bigger. But I feel like this order might get played just to put pieces from drop back into Soul. That way you can then call from Soul with her ability on the next turn to have the grade 2. Like if someone retires the grade 2, oh, put it into Soul. I have it for a next turn.
Yeah. Like you just like, oh, I needed to ditch some cards to be able to ride. Well, guess what? I can just put it back.
Moving on. The next order cannot be played because it's the order for glass. And you're not going to run either Dogma or glass in the deck. So skipping that one. And then we get to set 2, which... you don't know what Infernal Bombardment does, do you?
I'm currently reading it just now.
Yeah, so you basically discard a card, which would have been a -2 originally, but because you're playing it from Soul, you're basically only discarding 1 from hand. And then your Vanguard gets, when your opponent's rigor is retired by your card's ability, your opponent's rigor is retired by your card's ability, draw a card, Soul Charge on if their second rigor this turn, draw a card. You're not retiring anything in this deck, so this one's not going to get played.
Like you would need a retire engine.
And then it's the quintuplets one, skip. And then it's play this with Energy Blast 2, choose one of your Vanguards, it gets when this unit attack hits the Vanguard, choose a card from your Soul, call it through. I can see this one for pressure.
Yeah, you
I
could
can
see
see this one
for
just getting played for pressure. Chaos, not going to be ran. Another Chaos order, not going to be ran. Unica order, can't be ran, needs Esterea. Then you got the generic order that came with the order cycles in Dark States. That's literally just Soul Charge 1, 5k, and then you can discard a card to put it from draw back to hand. But because it's getting bound, you're not going to be able to do that. But at least it's a Soul Charge +5 to something. So this might get ran. This one's definitely going to get ran. It's
Cage of
Furious Stars. This is probably one of my favorite normal orders in Dark States because it's just Soul Charge 1, choose a grade 3 or less, call it a rigor against 5k. Basically... -1 in card in hand with this order means that you're getting 2 cards on the board with the Vanguard ability. Such a good quality of life. And then I honestly do think Prison Luring Lamp might get ran for the same reason the other order might get ran, is just to putting specific rear guards into Soul to have them for next turns.
Oh yeah, Prison Luring Lamp. Oh, okay, yeah. Cannibals 1 and Soul Charge 3?
Soul Blast 3. So basically what you do is Cannibal Blast 1, Soul Blast 3, choose 3 cards with different grades, put them into Soul, and then if your Soul has 4 more cards with different grades, you draw a card. So it's not only a draw card for a CB, it's a CB to draw a card, and you're basically replacing 3 cards in Soul with 3 other cards to make it different grades, but you can put pieces back into your Soul that you might want. Not to mention, it doesn't say normal units, so you can put orders. This can honestly be the card you ran just to put orders into Soul of different grades. Then you got the Chaos order that's not going to get ran. Then you got the Lukia order that's not going to get ran. Then you got a Bear Magnus order that's not going to get ran. You can run the Final Rush Countercharger, but I don't think it's going to be a good idea. You can technically run Hellblast for a draw card for a CB, but it's meh. You can technically run Pandemonium Texans for Soul Charge 4, but it's meh. And then one of the first orders, normal orders we got in Brengate is Cannibus 1, discard a card, Soul Charge 3, and if you have 10 or more cards in your Soul, you may put this into your hand. It's like, that's not going to go in. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, no.
I can see the first ever normal order in Overdress getting ran because it's Cannibus 1, Soul Charge 1, choose one of your units, 10k, And if your soul has 5 cards in your soul, and then if your soul has 10, draw cards. So 5 is probably going to be doable. So you can at least get the 10k so you can make your Vanguard bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just got regular pieces.
Yeah. Which you're going to play
Which
one
technically you can run. Like you can discard a regular piece, put it into soul, and then just use it. So looking back... Oh, technically calamities. Technically calamities do exist, so you can run them. But the only thing you do is find another... Oh no, wait a minute. Am I gonna be kissing the ground and praying to Griffgila? Wait a minute.
Calamity orders are technically orders.
And they're different grades and different names. Even though they have all the same ability. Man, I could just see putting some calamities in here just to go play this for 1 CB just to find another calamity and increase the fucking soul count. Later, but yeah.
Oh, you know somebody's gonna probably do it. Because there's not a lot of orders that are decent like that.
Oh yeah, there was a order in set... Yeah, I can't read that. Set 6? Yeah, set 6. Set 6 did introduce a grade 2 order. I honestly forgot what it does. I need to look it up. Oh, 1 sec. I can do this very fast. Set state. Set 6. There it is. And then... The hell did you go? There it is. The good thing is it's a grade 2. And then... Its ability is very simple. Look at top 5, choose up to 1 card from among them, put it into your soul show. I can see this being basically one of the ones you play immediately. Just, oh look, another order.
Yeah.
So
they'll probably set it up that way.
Yeah, reading all those order cards real quick and passing judgment. I'm going to ignore the calamities real quick. So I'm going to count 1 regular piece you're definitely going to run. Which one is going to depend on playstyle and what fits best. Yeah. I can see insects, crawl you insects being ran, so that's maybe 2. None of the Bruce ones, no thanks. Baramagnus, no. I really want to play the Jejul one with the whole different grades. That sounds good. The Cage one is obvious. The generic one is decent. The Energy Blast 2 one, so that's 6 already. The Energy Blast 3 one, that's 7, and then the one we just talked about, set 6. So there's 8 normal orders that are decent for this deck that you can technically run to make it work. I can only see just putting 3 more calamities and having 10 normal orders just to hit that order count.
Just to hit the order count, just to have 10. It's like, guess what? I have it here.
God, I want to build this deck now.
Right?
Oh God! First when I read it, I did not think it was going to be anything impressive. But now that I'm thinking about, man, there's potentially. Not to mention, you know what? One of my favorite cards is going to be played in this. God, I need to play kitties and countercharge engines. I might be playing the Bruce one where it's like play it, discard a card, countercharge, just to get countercharge. Because you know what? One of my favorite Dark States cards that not many decks can use is in here.
Pandemonium Tactics?
No, fuck that. There's a grade 3 card that says when it attacks, or basically it needs to be called out of soul to rearguard by your Vanguard's ability, which this does. And it's basically Counterblast 1 plus 10k guard restrict.
Oh. That's stupid.
I know, right? Isn't it great?
Oh yeah, Philia. It's gonna be mad useful in here.
Oh yeah, because if you don't have the grade 2 to call out a soul or have it any other way, it's like, I don't have it. What do I call out a soul? Philia plus easy play order. Philia active. God damn! I want to cook this deck now. Damn it!
Right? I told you it's interesting and it seems fun.
3 of that, 4 of that. Let's say 10 normal orders. So you have 17 cards, so there's 13 cards of wiggle room. I want to play cast for counter charge, so that's 11 cards of wiggle room, which means 2 4s and 1 3 of? Or maybe 3 3 3 2? I'm going to be playing around with this a little bit.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of a mixture between Soleron and Zorga. Considering it needs knowledge, all the magic.
I know, right? We'll see. Anyway, enough of me ranting about this. Damn, I honestly, I was more shocked at this than I thought I'd be.
You judge a book by its cover.
100%. I was put in my place. Anyway, speaking of stuff and leaks, for next Tuesday stream, hold on to your horses because we're getting a doozy. We're getting more promo cards for the new sets of promos. So 3 new cards plus 3 new reprints. One of the new cards, I hope I'm reading this correctly. One of the new cards is going to be a new Prayer Dragon.
For those of you who don't remember, that is for crossover dress.
For Jiva.
Jiva's coming back.
But look forward to week after that, where we should get the other 3 cards for the promo packs in a Divine Sister Vanguard and a Rowo support card and the good Lyrical Order. So we're getting 3 new cards, and then we're getting a Divine Sister Vanguard. Huh?
I like the fact that it says good Lyrical Order card.
I know, right?
like what do you mean it's good? Like how do you decide that?
Not to mention, we're gonna start seeing the first remnants of set 8. And we ended set 7 with Lyrical Orifice. We gotta start set 8 with actual Orifice support in double rare and rare rarity.
Mm-hmm.
Which the double rare is a great one. But that very much interests me in what the fuck is it gonna do.
No, yeah, but apparently also Tuesday we're getting Festival Booster 2025 info, and we've already got 1 preview card.
Which basically means a new wave of generic support cards that everybody is gonna fucking need.
This time we're definitely getting a case because we're not doing the bullshit with it last time, and with Baltarosa and the whole shit. All right, we need this guy. I'm not paying $50 for 1 car.
Give me people, man. Give me people, and we're in the fucking pearly gates. Just give me fucking people.
Mm-hmm. But I do like the Divine Sister Vanguard. I love the way she looks with that giant red sword of hers.
I wonder what she's gonna do.
I am speculating because taking a look back at the Divine Sisters from the post DivineZ era. Most of them that are not tied to a specific Vanguard have the generic ability. If you called a certain number, you get an extra effect, or if it was called from deck, you get an extra effect. So I'm thinking it might be a little bit more tied to like a Gurglet-esque effect, because all the ones before DivineZ were all kind of tied more to Hexa Orbs and like Bastion's effect.
The only thing I'm going to say about that is hold your breath, because historically, promo bosses have one weakness, and that's the fact that even though they have a theme and the theme of cards exist, none of the cards that exist directly support. They kind of work, but they don't directly support. Take Bat, for example. None of the set orders really mess with him. You have to force it to work until it actually got support in set 5, yada, yada, yada. Same with Bastion, Dark States. You had grade 3s, but nothing really worked. You had some ways to fix it, but not really. Best example I can give you is take the Dragon Empire Dino boss unit. You have so many Dino cards in Dragon Empire, but it was so hard to make the deck because all of them were generic pluses and this and that. Nothing really worked with the same mechanic that he was trying to do.
Divine Sister is set 8, so she's gonna get full dedicated support.
No, Divine Sister is a promo card.
No, Divine Sister Vanguard is from set 8.
From the Japanese March-April tournament promo pack, a Divine Sister Vanguard appears.
Did not read that part.
I wish, man. I wish to heaven and back that you would get this in set 8 and actually get some good support. But you are currently getting the promo curse. Yes, you have Divine Sisters that exist. Unfortunately, I'm telling you right now, none of them are going to be directly good for this deck.
No, not one bit.
Best I can give you is to remind you when you had to build the last promo boss Keter deck.
Okay, that one wasn't too bad because
you had a lot of generic orders and generic support cards in Keter pile, sure, but nothing directly supported it.
Keter pile wasn't a thing back then. You had TFL, but you didn't have Saragon, so you didn't have that.
Yes, you did.
No, for the axe guy, for the dragon, yeah, I didn't. We didn't have Saragon.
Yes, you did. Saragon is one of the first promos that started the whole promo goodness wave.
Ah, that's probably why. So we just tested it out before we even got it out. Yeah.
Anywho, with all that being said, I'm going to just quickly skim over to see if there's anything to talk about news-wise, because we've been going for a while and ranting, which I do like. I do like ranting. Let's see here. We talked about that. Promos in English. You talked about the fucking protein bars.
Protein! I just want my energy markers, man.
Like valid. Skimming through this real quick, there is one bit of news regarding the new trial decks that Japan's getting around the manga Sky Drive, and we're got to see the two new support cards that are going to be in for the Virgila deck, but we also got to see not only the boss unit, but I assume also support units, if not ride line of this boss deck. That's also going to be in the Stoicheia version of the trial deck from the Sky Ride. And I don't remember who it was. I do have to agree, the boss unit does look kind of derp.
100%, he just looks derpy as shit.
But at least we know how he looks and what the other support cards he's getting are going to look like. So there's that.
He reminds me a lot of like Yu-Gi-Oh art style.
He really does, yeah. You already talked about Festival. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else to talk about. So we're gonna end this episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to episode 241 of V-Time. If you liked the episode, please like, share it with your friends. Comment down below what you think the Divine Sister boss unit is gonna do. What you think the Orpheus is gonna do. Or if you're excited for Blindmire, Maggie, or Youthberg.
Blindmire. I'm excited for Blindmire.
I was gonna assume you say Youthberg, but Blindmire, where's my heart?
Hey, I won with it last night. It got me the mat.
Anyway, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, share it with your friends, become a member for some awesome perks, and yeah, you know, Facebook, all that. Bye-bye.
Bye. Remember the Derp Dragon.
And you're sure you want to talk about the cookies?
We can skip the cookies if you don't want to talk about the cookies.
If you want to talk about the cookies, we'll talk about the cookies.